was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Oakland Raiders and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, we're in November now, so this is where you really need to settle in, start getting down to business.
And in baseball, they talk about the dog days of August. November, these are the dog days of football, trying to get in position for the big push.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
Now, the meeting we had with him this week, that's one of the briefer ones we've ever had, isn't it?
He wasn't too happy after last week.
Not happy. Really determined to play a whole lot better, and he really can't play a whole lot worse. He's got to go out and show the team that the goods that he exhibited early are still there. Otherwise, he could lose the confidence that they have in him.
And hoping to get rid of that interception bug. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, here's Carr. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. From the gun, it's Carr. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. Last week, somehow they won. He threw all those picks, but they still won. Here, opening drive, unfortunately, he picked up where he left off.
Partner, you get a lot of extra patience when you find a way to win despite you making mistakes. But starting out again this game, that patience got wear thin.
And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Le'Veon Bell, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers have taken the early lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Janikowski adds the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak. Got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10.
Delay of game, offense.
For a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run. And it cost him.
And now after the delay of game, they're operating behind the sticks, 2nd and 15. They'll run with Mack. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. They get 8 yards back there, and they could use another one of those now on 3rd and 7.
You got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down. They'll run for it. This is Mack going absolutely nowhere. He'll wind up losing a yard or 2. A surprising move here on the opening drive of the game, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So they take a big chance here in their own territory, and you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right, the social media barrage.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bruce Irvin in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now Rodgers. Looking deep for Adams. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams, his first touchdown on the year. And the Packers add on to their lead.
And no matter how it comes about, when you get good field position, you have to make the defense pay. Short fields usually make for good offense.
Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
93.
Carr to throw on second down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
On third down, that's Mack across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down. Now remember, they were unsuccessful earlier in this first quarter. Going for it on 4th. They're going to try a second time.
29.
They do go for it. It's Carr. Open man is Henderson. That's complete. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. Now a toss play. This is Mack. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football. Let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
Well, big man with the ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
They converted once earlier in this drive, but they'll roll the dice here again on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it here. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. And this one is incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Carr will try it again on 2nd down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up the screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now a play fake. Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Mike Daniels in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
43 yards on the punt. 7-yard return, and it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here.
Now, right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And he'll be brought down here at the 28. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Back to the ground, this time with Bell. Bell a first down and then some. And all the way up to the 45-yard line. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
319!
They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Tahir Whitehead. Coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget.
319!
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Rodgers now to throw. And left side here, it's Graham. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. He got 29 yards that time.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field. Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here's Rodgers to throw. The left side throw complete to Adams. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit, because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
11 more on that one, and another first down. Now Bell, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays, exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
They'll give it to him up the middle, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
A double underneath to Jones. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down.
Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion. And what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder Are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
How big is that penalty? Wipe out the INT.
You'd hate to be the teammate that caused that penalty and wiped out the interception. You got to face that guy in the locker room. Not a lot of fun for you, and you hurt your squad.
Carr now on 1st down. Man open left side is Brown. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. Throwing on 1st down is Carr. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here, slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Raiders on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Now we'll carry for Mack. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Carr now to throw. And this is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. Well, that, my friend, I guess is the definition of a head-scratcher. 4th and long, this stage of the game. What were they doing?
I just have to...
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Bruce Irvin in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That's their second, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this second quarter. We'll be right back. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5.
319. 319
To throw, it's Rodgers. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait in? Enhance your he's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need...
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. Well, good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily